All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody in the GSD family? We have something huge for you guys today. A couple of GSD alumni, people who have gone through the program, people who started out with us at zero, guys. This guy started literally at the bottom, not to quote Drake, but he's a fellow Canadian. So started from the bottom, and now they're here, okay? They just posted the other day talking about 44K. They're absolutely crushing it, guys. This is 0 to 44K. These are people who are just like you, okay, no matter where you are in your agency, no matter where you are in your professional career, what you're trying to accomplish is to get from where you are past a bunch of speed bumps, and these guys have done that, and I wanted to take some time to interview them today so that you guys could benefit from that and see what it was they did to go from where they were to where they are now, and how they're continuing on and making sure that, you know, it's not just a flash in the pan, it's stable, it's something that's going to continue to grow, and they're going to keep kicking ass. So these guys are absolute beasts. They've been with us for quite a while, and I'm going to let them take it from here. Kind of introduce yourselves, you guys. Who wants to start? Justin, Mikey, who wants to go first?
Take it away,
you, Mike. Come on. I take it.
All right. Well, I'm Mikey Sheridan, and I am 25 years old, and I'm Justin's business partner. We started our business, I believe, last August. And I do a lot of the business admin and sales sides of things. And then Justin, you know, handles a lot of the operations, and I'll let him tell you a little bit more about himself as well.
So yeah, I'm Justin. I'm 19, soon to be 20, big 2-0. And I mean, we've been running the agency, like Mike said, since August, and we really picked up traction around like January, February. And all of our revenues pretty much come in this quarter alone. So, you know, that's pretty much agency and all that.
Love it, love it. And just for everybody who just missed that, that's a teenager who's having $44,000 in revenue, guys. They're 19 years old. So whoever's listening out there who's not taking action right now, you no longer have any excuses. You need to get out there, kick ass, and take names. So, guys, I know that you guys started at zero. I know from what Rahul was telling me, you guys had a meeting with him right at the very beginning. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the journey from startup to where you kind of had a breakthrough moment? So why don't you tell us a little bit about how that went?
Yeah. So Justin and I, we started off door knocking. We built out
day one,
like good old binders with, you know, our logo on it, and then just some price points. And I would go from any like restaurant, karate place, dentist, I mean, real estate agent. I was going everywhere and just trying to get to the decision maker, dropping off the notebooks, and it didn't really work out. And so Justin and I, we got to the point where we're like, okay, you know, what do we do next? And we started thinking about, and what's our network look like? Who do we know? And then I thought about this time I met Rahul at Hub 101 in Thousand Oaks. And I was like, man, like he kind of was talking about agency and that kind of thing. So I looked into him a little bit, and he was a good friend of my friend Greg Monterosa. And so we reached out and we got connected with him, and he met with us. And really just gave us the down low on, you know, what you guys do and how you help people. And then his success as well and experience. And right away, Justin and I knew, like, man, this is our ticket, man. This is it right here. Someone that's been there, someone that's dealt with all of the ups and downs, has had the success consistently, and is willing to share that knowledge with us for, you know, really at first it was free, and we really appreciate that. But at the end of the day, you know, you gotta, you know, kind of pay out in order to get to where you want to be, because that knowledge is really valuable. And Cody, you and Rahul price your stuff so low, it's nuts. And
well, I mean, as you guys know, and we talked a little bit about this before we went live, me and Rahul own a bunch of businesses, and this one specifically, the GSD program, really, we just do it to help people, right? We just want to help you guys and you agency owners that are struggling a little bit with stuff that we've already done in any way that we can. So I'm so glad that you guys have benefited so much, and I'm so pumped to see how much you guys are absolutely kicking ass.
We appreciate it, man. We really do.
Yeah.
So can one of you guys tell me a little bit about, I want to hear a little bit about a breakout moment. You know, it's not, everybody thinks and they'll see posts like yours where you talk about, you know, 44K, woo, and they'll think maybe that was an overnight thing. And I want to hear from you guys maybe about what the breakout moment was. Okay, what that, like the light switch thing, where maybe it wasn't overnight, but tell me about like a specific moment where you're like, wow, you realized, okay, I got this now. I got this by the throat. I'm going to be able to take this forward. And you knew you had a winning formula on your hands.
Justin, take this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like the breakout moment was definitely, you know, you're in the trenches, you are, you know, trying to figure out organic and stuff, and you're studying other people and what they do. And this is just kind of like, I don't know how to put words on it, but basically you're in the trenches, you're at zero, and the breakout moment is when you find out, you know, all the different systems, processes, your messaging, and you see it work, and you're like, whoa, you know, and then you start adding like fuel to the fire and it starts growing. And then next thing you know, everything's automated. All your, you know, messaging channels are, you have replies coming in and stuff. And so that's when, you know, on that aspect, we figured out, okay, wow, this is really working. And the next part is, you know, the breakout moment with our clients. Everybody's offering lead gen. Everybody is doing some sort of follow-up or whatever. But for us, you know, our breakout moment for our clients on that side was basically saying, you know, we're going to customize the scripts. We're going to set up a perfect system for you and, you know, not be average. And so that's our number one thing that really, I guess, pushed us ahead is like, you know, we're going to do a bunch for you, and then we're going to go over the top and deliver a crazy experience. Mikey, what would you add? That's what I'm thinking over on like my side.
Yeah. I mean, from an operational standpoint, I think the fact that you dialed in organic, the best I've ever seen it. And we've literally rolled with only organic up until this point. We've never ran a single ad. And for most agencies where we're at, that's exactly what they're doing is, you know, ads and not even focusing on organic. So that's been absolutely huge for us. But also from kind of the business growth and consistency for like, man, I got this and there's nothing stopping me, was the ability to close deals. The ability to get face-to-face with somebody, feel confident in our product, know that we get the results, and then also be able to, you know, follow through, but connect with somebody and be able to say, hey, look, I know you're about to give me a lot of money, but you're going to hand me $1 and I'm going to hand you $2 back. And for us to be able to say that was, you know, the game changer, I think, for sales as well. And I do want to note right now that literally almost all of my sales training came from Rahul and Cody and the GSD group. And I mean, there were countless nights where we had meeting after meeting after meeting where it was hours long of Cody and Rahul listening to Mikey go through 16 different sales calls that he had, and, you know, 26 bottlenecks that went along with them. And so I just want to make sure that I put it out there that, you know, you guys were a huge part of that aha breakthrough, especially in terms of sales. So appreciate that.
Love it, Mikey. Thank you so much for the kind words, man. It all comes together to makes it all worth it to see you guys having such great success now. So for me, it was totally worth it. And we'd do it all over again just to see it one more time. So good job, guys. Super proud of you guys. If I haven't said it yet, I just want to say it one more time on the record for the whole group. You know, could not be prouder than when students take what we teach them, go out into the world, take imperfect action, and kick ass. What's better than that? What do you do it for if it's not for these exact moments, right, guys? So super pumped, super proud. So just to boil it down, this is what I heard, aha moment, right? And this, guys, this is something for the GSD group, for the people listening in. We'll do a brief Q&A at the end. I haven't even looked yet, so if you've got questions and stuff in there, I'll take a look at the end. But what we teach a lot of, especially lately, what we're really focusing in on is that you need to worry about your traffic first so that you have a full calendar full of calls. That could be organic, that could be paid, however you want to do it. A productized offer that differentiates you from everybody else. And if you're listening into what Mikey and Justin are saying right now, this is exactly what they did. What they focused on, they picked a niche. They focused on productizing it so they could scale it. They focused on making it better than anyone else. Then they did organic and focused on making sure their calls were booked every single day. And then when they had enough calls to worry about it, then they worry about closing their deals, right? And to me, that's what it sounds like you guys are saying. Am I right on that?
Nail on the head right there, man. Nail
100%. And that's the perfect process. I think too many times, and I don't want to deviate too much, but I see too many people, they focus on the sales when they have one call every couple of days, right? And even if you are the best salesperson in the world and you're closing 50% of that, you're getting maybe one new deal a week, and even you're not probably going to close 50% of those. So you need to worry about traffic, filling your calendar, then deals and sales, and that's how you progress that along. So I was going to ask how you think the GSD program helped you the most, but it sounds like you answered that a little bit. But I'm going to ask anyway. So guys, what do you think the best part of the program was that helped you get over the hump?
For me, it was the weekly meetings. I mean, when my experience running an agency, you feel isolated, you feel alone, and Justin and I don't live near each other, so it's not like we see each other every day and kind of bounce things off. We can do Zoom and whatnot, but it's just not the same. So going into those meetings and having someone that understands where I'm coming from, having someone that can relate, and then give me the exact kind of process to get through those bottlenecks was huge and absolutely instrumental for me. And so that was definitely the biggest thing, was the coaching calls, and not only the coaching calls, but also the group too, because now you got people texting you, seeing how you're doing, seeing, holding you accountable, and also kind of pumping you up. I had multiple conversations with multiple of our group members on days that we didn't meet. And it was awesome, because then it was like, okay, cool. I'm not in this alone, or, it's not just Justin and I, like we got people in our corner, which was great.
Yeah. And I completely agree with that. Like the team meetings, like nothing can beat that. When somebody has the answer to your current bottleneck, like it's priceless.
Awesome, guys. Love it. So now I want to ask one thing. We got a lot of new people in the group, right? People who are just starting out, people who are just, maybe they've hit a couple $1,000s a month, but they would love, I'm sure, to hit numbers like you guys at 44K. So I want to know from you guys, what do you think? Two things. Number one, what's the number one thing in your minds that a newbie should do first? That a person who is just starting out and kind of struggling to get really going, what do you think they should focus on first to be able to get past that hump?
I'll let you start with this one, Justin.
I'd say messaging. Like if you're nobody and you send out a message, like you gotta, put the right words in there. And also you have to understand your offer at the same time. So your messaging and your offer go hand in hand. If you want somebody to say yes with you and book an appointment with you, you have to know exactly what you're going to be, talking to them about. And like I said, to even structure that first message, you have to know your offer. So I think that'd be the first thing, and also your social profiles, those all go hand in hand with each other. You got to make sure they're most optimized, and, just making sure that your gate, it looks, beautiful. So when you open the gates, which is like closing the deal and stuff, you could build out that stuff. If you're, say, at 0 clients, you can build out that stuff. You just got to make sure that, it looks pretty off the bat.
Nice. And how did you overcome certain objections in the very beginning? So say the experience objection, the case study objection. What were you guys doing at the very start to be able to push that forward?
Anything you could possibly think of that wasn't a lie. You know what I mean? It was just, for me, it was just building a relationship, connecting with somebody and helping them understand that, look, if I don't succeed for you, then I'm not going to continue to succeed in the future. I'm not going to get a testimonial. I'm not going to get a consistent client. Like I'm going to go to the end of the earth to get you results, because I need those results, I think, more than you do. But you know what, trust me. And so that's where that kind of snowballed for me. It was never really like one specific thing.
I love it. I can remember clearly having this conversation with you guys a couple of times for this exact thing. So that's why I like to dive into it, because, you guys weren't the only ones to ask it then, and you haven't been the only ones to bring it up since, right? This is an ongoing thing that a lot of agency owners run into in the very beginning is, well, I don't have case studies. I don't have this stuff. So to know how to get through it. And I mean, in your guys' case, a lot of the times is put your head down and just make promises, make sure you develop that relationship, get the trust going anyway and push it forward. And then other times, we do happen to let some program members use our own results to be able to leverage it, because we want nothing more than for you guys to succeed. So we'll put that out there too, just because we need you guys to be kicking ass and taking names. So 100%.
And I do want to piggyback off that last part. That was also a huge thing for us, being able to partner up with you guys, and you basically giving us your system giving us everything you do and use to get the results for the clients, and then saying, okay, well, you're technically selling our system, to then say, okay, then, you know, you can use this testimonial because it's the exact same thing. It's going to get the same results. And that was, I mean, to have a testimonial, no matter what, is like exponential in terms of, you know, your success. So we do appreciate that, and want to acknowledge the fact that that was a springboard that we did in fact use from the start, for sure.
Love it, guys. Absolutely love it. All right, I'm going to take a quick moment. Guys, I'm going to bring up on my phone GSD people. If there's any questions whatsoever, we're going to get into a brief Q&A here in a second. If there isn't, then we're going to continue on. But I want to see if there's questions out here. We want to make sure we are getting them. All right, guys, I'm not seeing any right now. Just seeing a bunch of people saying hello. What's up, Jeff? What's up, Kristen? What's up, Rahul? Drop some stuff down in the comments. If you have any questions for these guys whatsoever, open book. You know, I didn't necessarily tell them we were going to do a Q&A, but I'm throwing it at them now. So if you guys have any questions right now, I mean, who better to ask than people who have literally been where you are and gotten to where another one of your goals that you want to hit, right? These aren't people who have been doing this forever and have slowed down a little bit. No, these guys are who are hitting the throttle full power right now, getting there right now and kicking ass. So who better to ask than people just like this in the trenches right now with you guys. So if you have any questions whatsoever, I'll keep monitoring this. If not, we're going to go on to a couple more questions that I got. And if nothing more, we're going to say goodbye to these two fine gentlemen right after that. So questions, guys, questions. Come on, take advantage. What do we always say? Imperfect action. That's what we always say. There is no stupid questions. There is no bad actions to take. Get in there, ask questions, and we will get it to you. So let me take a look. What have I not gotten into yet? I know there was some more. So what skill? This is one that I want all of the new agency owners to learn. What skill do you think was the most important thing that you learned that helped your growth? So in the very beginning, when you were sitting at $0 and you were, you know, you're doing the classics, you know, your sales calling, your door knocking, you're wandering around, you're doing prints, all of this stuff, which by the way, I did back in 2011, 2012 too. So respect to that. What skill did you learn that really got you going? What was that one thing that really pushed the envelope forward for you?
Justin, do you have anything
I was gonna say, just picking up as much as you can in terms of like resources and stuff, assembling it, and you know, success loves speed. So you know, getting it to, you know, just put foot on the gas. You know,
just so imperfect action. So really, it was just learning to just do instead of overthinking it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to say, what's that thing that I always said to you guys? Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the great. Don't let perfection stop you from being great. That's kind of what I'm hearing when you say that right
now. And also too, the bulletproof mindset. You know, especially in the sales side of things, especially in an angry client side of things. Mm-hmm. You know, because no matter how you set an expectation for a client, if they're not making buco bucks off the get and they're paying you a decent amount of money, they're going to have questions. They're going to have concerns, and that's rightfully so. But some can be a little more abrasive and aggressive. Some can be more understanding. But if you don't have that bulletproof mindset, then, you know, little tiny emails, text messages, phone calls can spiral into some kind of big fire, and then you lose a client and you have this bad relationship, you get a bad review. Mm-hmm. But, you know, on the flip side, if you have the good mindset all the time and you stay, you know, you're not in the ups and downs, then, you know, you're just going to have that consistency in terms of results. Same thing.
I love it. No, that's so true, man. Not allowing yourself to get on that emotional roller coaster. And guys, for reference, for context, these guys work with real estate agents, which I know a lot of you also work with real estate agents and know that they're all emotional wrecks sometimes. So there's a lot of these emails that he's talking about, I'm sure. So it's really key for you to keep it even keel, not overreact to the ups or the downs, because like any agency model, you know, there is going to be a bit of a roller coaster. There's always going to be somebody asking some kind of a question, and being able to keep even keel really does help that out a lot. So I love that you brought that up. All right, we got a few questions. You guys want to dig into some Q&A here? I'll read them off to you guys. You guys ready?
Do it.
Shoot 'em.
All right. We're going to do the quick lightning round here. All right, so Yannicki, current member of the GSD, he's asking, how do you start the conversation? So I'm assuming he means, how do you start the conversation with your prospects when you're doing cold outreach and that kind of stuff?
You want to take this one, Justin?
Yeah. So I guess to bring them in, like it was going over like I was talking about earlier. It's messaging, profile, and knowing your offer and stuff. And so to get your foot even in the door, you just got to be attractive off the bat. And so it's really, I don't know like what industry he or she's in, but it's just really knowing your industry as well and knowing what they like to hear to then get on a call with you.
Love it. Love it. Anything to add to that, Mikey, or is that good?
No, I think that's great.
Good. All right. So then, and Yannicki, let me know if that helped or if you had a different question in mind. Give me a hell yes or a thumbs up or something that says you liked it down in the comments. We got from Alvin Reyes. What's a fair retainer price to charge an agent for marketing? So if you want to dive into how you're pricing out your packages a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So a fair price, you got to be honest with yourself in terms of value, first off. What can you really deliver? What have you delivered? And then on top of that too is, in terms of return, like how fast you're going to get that return for them. Just because if you're pricing it too high and you can't get a return fast enough, then they're going to run out of cash, and then you're going to be in a spot where their payment bounces, and then you have to worry about, am I ever going to see this? And then do we pause everything? And then it's just a whole mess. But also too, you don't want to work for free. So just knowing that value point, I guess, some people do have to go through working for free to get testimonials, to get people on. But I think that if you're in the real estate niche, you can charge anywhere from $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month plus. It just depends on the value that you're adding. Are you doing just lead gen through Facebook? Are you doing SEO and PPC? Are you doing IDX websites? You got to take all of that into consideration, but I wouldn't price anything below 1,000 unless you're at a point where you're like, dude, I need money right now, and that's like really a hurt. Then okay, but try and get to a point where you're really getting a decent return for the time that you're putting in.
I love it. I love it. That is a common question that is always far more complicated than people who ask it are understanding, because if you don't give specifics, like you got into, if you start doing SEO and Google PPC and landing page development and asset development and all that kind of stuff, a problem with, I think, some agencies is if you don't define scope of work early on and you just say, hey, I'm going to do your marketing, then they're going to take advantage of you so bad. And if you don't understand that custom work instead of productized work, which we focused on earlier, really that's going to give you a headache, because if there's anybody that's going to take advantage of you, it's a client who thinks that you are now just their marketing department and you'll do whatever you want under the terms that you set. So I love that answer 100%. What else we got in here? Okay, we got Meron is asking you, do you go with a monthly retainer, as in month to month, or are you asking for a 3 to 6 month commitment from the agents that you work with? So are you doing month to month contracts, or are you doing 6 to 3 month commitments minimum?
3 month minimum.
Yeah, I think it's fair to set that expectation, because if you do a month to month right off the bat, it doesn't give the fulfillment team like enough time to get things set up, and like the time invested, it's just not worth it. So like, yeah, the 3 month is, I think, very fair, and we call it like a 90-day run, just so people don't feel like it's like a huge commitment. But yeah, I wouldn't lock them in for anything like 12 months or anything like that, because they don't know what they're getting into a lot of the time.
And I think too, another thing is that you might have certain occasions where you think this is a really good client and they're trying to get you to put some skin in the game, so to speak. And they're like, well, I want month to month and you want 3 months, so meet me in the middle with 2. Sometimes I feel like that's okay, but once you get to a certain point of cash flow and you have a really good system running, get away from that kind of stuff. But in the beginning, you might have to make a deal or two just to land the client and get the trust.
100%. I like that. 3 months for sure, especially with real estate people. That runway is what you're going to need. All right, we got a few more questions. Let me see. Let's pick one more. We're not going to keep them all day with the questions, guys. I love it, though. Keep them coming in. If they like it or we want to afterwards, we'll answer some of these in the comments. Let me pick one last good one. See what we got in here. Ooh, okay, I like this one. On your discovery calls, what kind of red flags do you look out for to see if they're not a good fit? What are the red flags that would make you not want to actually take on a client? I like that. I like that question. Good job, Alvin.
Yeah. Well, if they start talking about you know, if you don't do this, you're going to get bad reviews, blah, 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 or kind of, you know, I don't know if it's a pissing contest at that point, but
Micromanaging.
yeah, people that micromanage, people that start talking outside of the scope of work, bad attitudes. I mean, you can smell them out. Like, I know it looks nice to get, you know, a signed contract. It feels great, but there are so many possible headaches with somebody that has a bad attitude, and you're gonna vibe with different people. Like, I'm gonna vibe with someone differently than you will, so you can kind of find your ideal, you know, client and customer and audience and build that out. Actually take time to write that out too, and know exactly who you want to work with, because then that allows you to kind of answer this question for yourself, because you're probably going to want to work with different people than I will. I don't know if that entirely answers the question, but in terms of red flags, yeah, I think the biggest one is just micromanage, bad attitudes, you know, kind of threatening statements of, if you don't do this, then this is going to happen. I expect this out of you. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can definitely tell from the wording, like the way that they answer your questions on an onboarding survey or in a survey that's meant to qualify the call. You can tell sometimes just from what they say. For instance, we have one on one of our onboarding calls that says, we get a limited amount of spaces, therefore there's a waiting list. So if you're not serious about this, you know, tell us why it is that you think you'd be a good fit to work with us, basically, because we're trying to flip it around so that, you know, we're interviewing you. It's not the other way around. We choose who we work with and we want you to answer. Sometimes people will just freak out in that or leave it blank or say something, and you already can see that that's going to be a red flag. And that's why you have questions like that in the first place, so that you can spot those out right away. So I love that answer. Justin, anything to add to that, or do you think that was good?
I think it was pretty good. I mean, we have like a two-step system of like qualified call to demo call. So like Mike's not going to be sitting on an hour-long call with someone who at the end of the call says, you know, has a bad attitude or something like that, or whatever it is. So he can, you know, throw those bad clients out or prospects within, you know, the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, Mikey.
I was just going to say, to piggyback off that, the two-step process we do is, you know, we have a qualifying call where we get on the phone with them. And one thing that's really helped me is being very specific and intentional on those phone calls, to figure out budget, to figure out what they're looking to do, to, you know, to not book an appointment with somebody that's going to waste an hour of my time to, at the end of the call, say, I don't have the money. I have to think about it. I have to talk to so-and-so. So on the qualifying call, you find out, okay, are you the decision maker? If not, then the other person needs to be on the call as well. And, you know, do you have the budget? Are you looking to expand? Like, what are your goals? And then being, you know, kind of very, very upfront in the beginning saves you, I bet, if you continue to do sales, thousands of hours, you know, in the future, because you're not sitting here doing this. And then your demeanor goes down too, because you just went through, you kicked ass on this demo, and then, oh, well, I got to think about it. I'm like, dude, like, what did I do wrong? Like, what I did wrong was I didn't qualify hard enough. So
100%. I love it, guys. I love it. All right, guys, I know there's a few more questions down in here, but we're not going to, I'll leave the Q&A for there. That was beautiful. I love the questions we went over. Yannicki, Alvin, and I believe it was Meron. Can you let us know down in the comments if that was helpful? If you love those answers. I know there's a couple more that Yannicki and Alvin have both asked, guys. We will try our best to get to them in the comments. We'll see if Mike and Justin will do it. If not, I'll do it myself. Rahul will get to you. Kristen, you as well. Let us know down in there if you liked it. And we're going to continue on, guys. Thanks so much for participating. So, guys, I want to know a couple of things now. All right, we're getting to the end of it right now. I want to know, should people join the GSD and take this shortcut? I want to know your honest opinion. You know, do you actually think people should take the GSD? What I've been telling people lately is, you know, you got to learn from your mistakes, but you'll never live long enough to make them all yourself. So go out and actually use other people. So I want to know your guys' opinion.
I'll let you start this one off, Justin.
I think what you just said is perfect. Mentors are, you know, there's nothing that compares to them. They'll push you 10 years, like super cool. Like I'm 19 and we talk to agency owners all the time, and they're in their 30s or whatever, and they're a lot older, and the points that they're at haven't caught up because, you know, they maybe haven't, you know, dove into a full-time mentor or something, or a course that'll teach them so much. So, I mean, there's nothing that really compares to mentors and courses just like this one.
Yeah, you join GSD. At the end of the day, if you want to make money, if you want to be surrounded by like-minded people that hustle, that work hard, that implement, that actually do what they say and don't just kind of spew things out to you, then that's the place to be. I mean, like I said earlier in the interview, there were so many nights that we had hours, like 3-hour long phone calls or Zoom calls with the group. And it's like, I get to ask every single bottleneck question I have. Are you kidding me? I couldn't read enough books, in the next 2 years to answer all of these questions. And then, have to figure it out myself when you ask and they go, oh my gosh, like, here's exactly what you do. Here's what you say. This is what might happen. And if this happens, go this way. If this happens, goes that. Like, that is, sends you light years ahead of everyone else. And it's seriously, their prices are so cheap. Anyone else with their knowledge, you're going to have to pay, like, we're definitely $10, $20, $30,000 and get into these crazy groups. And then you don't even get the real value.
Yeah, so that's the crazy stuff when they charge tens of thousands and you get the GSD and they give more value at such a, rate. It's so valuable, so valuable.
So I 100% vouch for GSD. It's kick ass.
Awesome, guys. This has been phenomenal. Thank you so much, guys. Everybody who's on this call right now, we're going to drop a link, and the link down below is going to be for a call with literally myself or Rahul. We're not going to have anybody else on. You're going to get me or Rahul on the call. We're going to help you, talk you through, and we're going to help you join the GSD program, guys, because we want to get you guys in there and help you out just like we helped these guys. And for the next 5 people that join, we have some super fucking awesome bonuses. Excuse my French. I live up in Canada. I can't help it. We're going to give them to you guys. No one's ever seen any of this stuff before. We're going to really, really, really sit down and map out the next 30 days to get you your next 5 clients. We want to help you guys out, guys. Look for the link as soon as we sign off. Get on that call at the very least, guys, because we'll help you out either way. It's going to be a battle call, a strategy call to help you guys plan this out, kick ass, make some money just like these guys. One last time, I want to say thank you so much to Justin and Mikey. And I almost always want to be telling people, we do this to help people. And I get pride out of seeing our students and people succeed. You guys, honestly, so proud of you guys to see your growth over the last however many months and however long it's taken has been phenomenal. I'm very proud to have been able to call myself your guys' coach. And thank you so much for doing this interview, guys.
We really appreciate you, Cody, and Rahul as well. And seriously, if people don't take advantage of the next 5 spots, you bet your sweet ass you'll see me in there because I know there's more value that you guys have. So, all right.
Love it, Mike. All right, guys. Thanks so much, Justin. Thanks so much, Mikey. We'll see you on the other side, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yep.